Hi, it's Pastor Steve here, and I just wanted to spend a couple minutes just talking about some things that I've been learning from my studies at Bethel Seminary. Wrapping up my semester in a couple of weeks, got a couple of big papers to finish hammering out, but I just wanted to tell you three things I think have been really important to me as I've been going through this term. One is, as you understand the Bible, remember that this is part of a big story, and God is the hero in all of it. Whenever you take a look at a verse or a story that you grab from the Bible, always remember that it's a part of a much bigger story. And it's so important to remember that as you look at the text, that you remember that God is always the hero, not me, um, not the characters, not even the main point, but it's always God who is the hero, who is the one who has been doing something, is doing something, and will do something that is always changing the way the world is, the way that things are happening in the world today, and that includes me, and that includes you, but it also includes the community of faith that we're a part of. It includes the community that is not a part of the community of faith. It includes the whole world, and sometimes we very much think individualistically. We think of ourselves and think of everything about me. Second thing that I think has been really important that I've been learning is that as we do ministry to children here in our church, it's really important to do the best that we can with the kids that come to our church. What about the kids that don't come? Why don't they come? Where are they? How come they're not here and connected with us? And is there something that we can do about that? How can we be thinking about them? How can we be concerned with them? And even bigger and broader than that is kids around the world are such a huge percentage of the world. And while we have a small role here at our church, we also have a small role in the whole world. And how are we thinking about the poorest of the poor? How are we thinking about these kids who have no homes, and our wealthy church, our wealthy home here, and what are we doing to even have them on our radar, to even be thinking about them? And the third thing that I've been learning or been thinking about that's been really important to me is this whole idea of context. Context is true when you're interpreting the Bible, as I mentioned earlier, that each part is part of a bigger story, part of the whole of the Bible. And context is also important in our relationships with people. When you talk to somebody, when you jump into a conversation and you hear some information about somebody, it's never enough to just go off that information. The media loves to do this with quotes or whatever, and then they distort and twist. And people do that with the Bible, and they take a part of the Bible and they twist it and distort it. And we can do that with people, with our friendships, and with the kids that we minister to. If we don't try to find the bigger story, what's going on behind this particular child, what's going on in the background, how can we know them more than just that hour on Sunday? Can we get to know them in new and bigger ways that can really affect how we relate to them and how we relate to each other? You may take a kid who's coming with a fear, and you don't really even know that he's struggling with this fear until you get to know him as a person, and it starts to rise up as you're talking with them. Maybe they have some really deep questions, and why are these questions surfacing? Well, something at home has been happening that has shocked them or challenged them or confused them, and here comes this kid to your group, and you don't know anything about that. Well, it's going to affect how you relate to them and how you teach them that particular lesson, whatever it may be. And so I just want to encourage you to remember the big story, remember the big story of kids around the world, and remember each individual story of the kids and the people that you meet, that there is something always going on, and we can really work to get to know the whole story much better than we have been. And it's a good thing to just love this story that we get to be a part of as kind of an adventure with God, that we don't know what's coming, but we just trust Him and we keep going on with Him. And so those are a few of my thoughts from what I've been learning over this past quarter in my studies at Bethel Seminary. So hopefully that's helpful to you.